Hello and welcome. Well, Queensland-based Coronis Real Estate hosted their annual awards recently where they celebrated the group's achievements for financial year 2019, and they took the opportunity, of course, to recognise the company's top performers in sales, property management and in mortgage broking. Well, I think it was for the second year. The North Lakes office was crowned the Team of the Year. Team Leader Chris Rhode joins me. Chris, is it in fact... Oh, hello and welcome. Congratulations.
Cool, thank you, appreciate that.
Is it the second year?
It was the second year we've taken it out. It's not the second year in a row. So we won it this year, missed out last year and took it out the previous year.
Well, you obviously learned some lessons in the year when you didn't win it, so you went back and trimmed out a few things.
Yeah, it was actually probably one of the highlights that we learned from the previous year, because we had a few people leave after we took out the Team of the Year the original time, and I guess we learned a few things about resetting our goals and refocusing, which has helped a lot.
Yeah, good. Well, we'll talk a bit about that. But on the night, the awards night, which you were kind enough to invite me to, but I couldn't make it, unfortunately, Andrew Coronis, he spoke of your team's performance, selling 142 properties worth, I believe, $70 million. And also growing the property management business to a portfolio of over 500 properties.
Yeah.
Some great achievements in there. I mean,
Thank you.
To have a property management portfolio at 500 sort of puts you amongst the elite, that's for sure. What were some of the highlights for you and your team during the year?
I guess obviously hitting those numbers was pretty fantastic. I think originally for property management, we actually weren't even aiming that high, and it just sort of snowballed and just kept on going, which was great. For the sales team, I think it was actually just growing the team from where we were, getting some new people in. And I guess one of the highlights was a guy that we took on, Hayden. He was an existing agent with a competitor, and the last quarter of the financial year, he wrote more sales in that 3 months than he did in the preceding 2 years with the competitor. So for us, that was really awesome, because it kind of really proved that what we do does actually work.
So what do you do that's different? Is it in the prospecting? Is it in the systems that are behind you?
It's basically everything. So we don't treat the sales as an art form. It is a process. So everything is set up with a routine. So it's not, oh, well, let's try this and then try this and then try this. It's, well, we know if you follow our system and a process, it will work. You can't get it wrong. And part of that is with prospecting. Who do we talk to? When do we talk to? How do you set up your day? And that's just personal, but professional, but personally as well. What are you doing to better yourself? What are you reading outside of work? What exercise are you doing? What are you doing with your family? All those types of things, so you're actually you become a better person.
So what's your role in that? As the team leader, are you intimately involved in everyone's situation?
Yeah, so I sit down with everyone, and everyone is different. And some people would like regular catch-ups, some people not as much, some are very formalized, some people just want a 5-minute coffee conversation. It's whatever works, but it's very much going through and saying, okay, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve this whole financial year, 5 years? What do you want to achieve over the next, even sometimes a week, to then continually reset and then make sure that the KPIs that they're having to achieve or wanting to achieve are actually in line with their goals. There's no point in me just saying, well, do this. No one will actually listen to you. But if you do this, you can achieve your goals, then everyone gets really committed, and ultimately it ends up being better for the clients as well.
Yeah, well, of course, the brand itself, Coronis, a great family business, has been now, what I think for a couple of generations. Andrew's father was, I think, the founder. The systems that are in place now, I know largely have been driven by Andrew, but are they changed? Do they evolve, or are they pretty much locked in stone?
The systems are always evolving. With any business, if you keep doing what you did from, say, 15 years ago, it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. So it's very much taking into account technology, changing generations, changing population, demographic, and then what do we need to do different? But it's the same principle in place, that ultimately, how do we help people with their real estate needs? And I guess it's expanded out not only into real estate, but then also into finance and other areas. So how do we help people holistically and fill the gaps?
Yeah, because that's the top line goal, isn't it? I mean, helping people holistically is what drives the business. Well, no, sorry, it doesn't drive the business. It's actually the ethos. But what drives the business is the systems behind it all. They're the most important part.
Oh, definitely. And we catch up. So as a leadership group and emerging leaders within the business, there's regular training as well. So, and there's constant feedback loop. So what's working really well, and I guess what's not working, it just needs to be fixed, or what's not working and needs to be scrapped altogether. What technology is out there that we can be implementing into the business so that we're staying, I guess, ahead of the competition, and once again also trying to provide a more seamless experience for our clients.
So technology is very much the driver behind what you do, with all of your systems. Let's talk about technology for a moment. How do you use technology to keep the leads flowing into the business? I mean, it's a very competitive marketplace that you're in, and most of us work in that kind of competition anyway. So what are the systems that you're finding, or the technology improvements that you're finding, are helping you drive your business and keep it moving forward?
I'm a little bit old-fashioned. As much as I love the technology, it's only there to help the human factor. So things like social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it. I mean, there's 1,000,001 different social media accounts that you can have, but ultimately all they're really there to do is to connect you with someone else. So what I find is that whatever technology you're using, it just has to get you in front of someone. Because when you're actually in face-to-face with someone, or even if they're across the world, as long as you can actually meet them face-to-face through Skype or what I've just learned today through Zoom, you can actually get a better result. And it takes away a lot of the stress, because we find a lot of buyers, when they come into a property now, they know the property better than you do as the agent. They know how close it is to the closest school or public transport. I mean, Google has all of that. So what can you provide as a real estate agent that they can't actually find out elsewhere? And that's what we use the technology for.
That is such a fantastic point that you make, because I think we sometimes get caught up with thinking technology is going to be the answer for us. If we get the latest technology, we're going to be successful. But the message I'm getting from you is that technology is very much just the lever. It's the tool to get the door open, and then you've got to have the personality and the follow-up to make that relationship.
People don't sign you up as their real estate agent because you're really good at Facebook. They might have seen you through Facebook, but that's about it. And so what I actually find for someone who might be struggling with listings a little bit, and they're sitting in front of their computer wondering why we're not doing it, it's like, all right, come with me, get into the car, let's go for a drive. Let's drive your area. What's out there? Who can we see? Who can we stop in and actually just talk to? Because you'd be surprised at what will come out of it. Or if they're in the office and they're prospecting, all right, if we close your laptop right now, who are you going to call? And it just takes away, because you can't really be a real estate agent through a laptop screen.
Yeah, that's great words of advice. I've interviewed Andrew Coronis on a number of occasions. I know that one of the things that comes out for me is the family approach to the business, and how the teams seem to work differently from a lot of other teams. And I picked up from what Andrew Coronis, what I read about what he said at your awards night, and one of the features he highlighted in your office is that you work as a collaborative team, as the team works together. How do you, as the leader, create that environment?
As a leader, you've just got to, firstly, you've got to employ the right people. So we've got a certain type of policy out there that ultimately, if I wouldn't, list my home with you, and just importantly, if I wouldn't go to the pub and have a beer with you, you're not going to make it onto the team. Because I need to know that, we're all going to work long hours, up to, 70, 80 hours, whatever it needs to be. So if we're going to be around each other for that long, I need to know that I can trust you implicitly, and vice versa. So that's part of it. And then it's also having them trust you to share everything with you. So you can only help someone when they actually know that you do want to help them. They're not just a number on the board. So that's why we took the approach that in the offices, we don't generally have more than 4 to 5 people as a sales team, because that's probably my max capacity. I can only lead 4 to 5 people at one time. But if I have 4 to 5 and I know everything about them and know how to help them, well, then it's a win-win for everybody.
So, Chris, what's ahead for this year? Where will the growth come from? How are you going to make sure that you don't miss out on the award next year?
Yeah, well, I know there's a lot of competition. There's a few people that, well, it was a very, very close result on Saturday night. We are actively recruiting. So we've just taken on another property manager. So we are aiming to grow the property management portfolio even further. With the sales team, we've just taken on another guy, and we're putting him through the paces at the moment. And I guess it's just constantly recruiting, trying to find the right people that will fit in as the family type business. And I guess that's probably about it.
Chris, congratulations. A great year, another great year ahead for you and the team there at North Lakes at Coronis Realty. I want to thank you for giving us your time today, because I know it's really busy for you, but thank you. Congratulations, and I look forward to talking to you this time next year when you take the award out again.
Thank you. And look, thank you for the invitation. It's an absolute pleasure.